bit because we've done zero prep. But when we talk about this stuff, it's everyday life, so it's quite easy, and we teach it every day, we coach it every day, whether it's meditation, yin, nidra, 100-day heroes, or any experience. So how are you today?
When we say that it's raw, this one is really raw.
They're all raw, but this one is maybe more so because we plan it very differently. In saying that, I don't plan. Shelley likes to be very planned, which is beautiful. But we were working just before, and all of a sudden it's 11:58. We had to go live, so that's brilliant, isn't it? We're talking positive change though, and so the amount of times, I reckon if I could nut out one sentence that people I would have got over the last 20 odd years, and clearly fitness and all that kind of stuff, it lends itself to this anyway, but people want positive change. Sometimes they don't know why, and that's hard when they don't, but they just know they want change for the better. Physical is obviously where I came from back in the day a lot, so physical change. And no doubt you've seen many people wanting spiritual and some real emotional change, and that's what we've done in the 100-day heroes, definitely. But true happiness and true contentment, you said in this first episode about going through it, and you got to go through it, but we really wanted to touch on today that we've both done very similar stuff, and we needed to elicit change, and we worked on some stuff to make it easy. So I guess the thing today is making it easy. How do we make positive change, but long-term, lifetime-like change, but also make it attainable? Because I think people feel like it's unattainable right now.
Yeah, I think the key to it all is just knowing that it's got to start so small, and it's not a chore, like making it from the get-go, knowing that you want to make some changes and being like, yeah, let's, like, we're in for this, and knowing that it's going to be hard along the way, but also just having that reassurance that it's going to be okay, because you start really small and you can build at your own capacity, that you're able to hold things, and just taking the pressure off, and it can be as small as just a tiny different thought that you thought in that day. Like, it doesn't even have to be massively planned and this whole like pressure and life changing, you got to change everything. It can just be, I'm deciding that I'm going to make some positive changes, and just slowly.
That's a really simple one to start with. And the thing is, no matter where you're at in life, if it's about finance, weight, health, relationships, whatever, they're all those tangible things, whereas what Shelley's describing is so much more simple than that, and just really bringing it right back to the way you talk to yourself, and we say that a bit, and the way you don't buy into rumination or don't buy into the same patterns. Because if you're noticing, like Shelley said, noticing what you're doing throughout a day, and just taking that bit of extra time to notice. Like, we try to train automaticity in a good way in what we do, and that automaticity is amazing, but it takes a long time. So as long as you're able to reset, notice when you're maybe going down like a familiar path that isn't going to serve you, and just be different, like react differently, or think differently about a thought pattern, or think differently about something. I think you mentioned earlier, where it was just drinking water, or things that your mind rejects because it's a long-seated thing that's not serving you. Little things like that, just noticing them, and doing that hundreds of days in a row, as well as having stuff written down that will serve you, and making the commitment to yourself, no one else, to yourself, that you deserve to live to your fullest potential. That's the key.
Yeah. I think if you want a starting point, I think a really good one is, it's just, I suppose people in general, that life's busy, and there's such a disconnect towards yourself and how you feel. And so if you wanted to start there, even, throughout the day as you're going, noticing things, but if you want to just have a real nice starting point and just sitting there and asking yourself some questions like how do you feel? Like how do you actually feel at the moment? And like what do you actually need? And what gives you energy? And just kind of like having really nice like questions and to yourself and a conversation to yourself on, you know, how am I? Like I suppose a lot of us sort of ask how other people are, but what do I actually need? What do I want? You know, all that sort of stuff. And starting there, and it's sometimes it's not easy either to know that. So you don't have to have all the answers as well. It's just I suppose a starting point to unravel the things as you're going along in the day as well.
It's good as well. That's a great point. And as well as that, like, it's not easy, but also don't do that exercise and think that you're too far gone or you're that far in a hole that you can't get out of it. So don't say, oh, what's wrong? What could I change? What do I need? And you might be 190 kilos and you just think there's no coming back. There really is. I've seen it over and over again. But like everything, it's within inside you. You've got everything you need right now, but you just need to reprogram a few things. So, and not expecting it to change in a week is probably another thing, and expecting non-linear progression. Once you can get that around your head, not looking for a quick fix, not looking for a magic pill or jab, non-linear progression, because we can definitely change some tangible things with quick fixes, but that tangibility isn't lifelong. It hasn't changed any of the neuroplasticity in here. It hasn't changed any of this stuff in here. So for actual, what we're talking about is positive change, which normally means happiness, contentment, peace. What Shelley's describing there is a good way to start. What do I need to help myself help be the best version and potential of me?
Yeah, and it's not trying to work it out either, that pressure of going, what do I need? Oh, how do I get there? Oh, it's too far. Or it's just going like, yeah, what do I need right now? Like it might just be, I need a bit more space to think. I need to be, you know, and it's like you might have a goal that you want, whatever it is, but just not, so it's just the awareness, but not getting attached to it and overthinking it and trying to work it all out and
all perfect.
Yeah, perfect, and having all the answers and literally just having some, again, self-compassion on, just not being hard on yourself for it is what I
think the attainability is massive as well, because I don't know about everybody, but I know personalities like myself, or I know there's a lot of people because I've seen it for a long time, but if say they write down a couple of things, this is why I started the micro goal system with 100 Heroes, with corporates, with like professional sporting clubs. It's about keep simplifying it and making it so attainable and just bulletproof. So that is your concrete system, and then we call them meso goals, but the meso goals are just the tangible changes. But then what happens is, you know, your greater purpose, whether it's to your potential, your legacy, your family, whatever, the meso goals start flowing and flowing. But in the instance that Shell's describing, they might seem a mile away. And that's when people don't do it.
Yeah,
so they
absolutely.
go, oh, what's the point, I'm too far.
Yeah.
But Shelley mentioned the word space. If you need space, you don't have to get an hour to yourself. You might just start incrementing 2-minute blocks to yourself. And same as, I need to exercise. But you don't need to find the perfect time to go to the gym. You might just do 90 seconds, 30 seconds. I've got heaps of stuff on YouTube. 30-second blocks for 4 every day.
Yeah.
It's people, we're complicated in the uncomplicated, but unfortunately, it's not your fault. Our brains are wired this way. But as soon as you become aware that it's like, okay, well, yeah, Shelley said I need peace, or I think I need peace and space away from my 4 kids and my boss and my Zoom calls. I'm going to program in 3 2-minute blocks of space.
Yeah.
And that's a metaphor for everything though. So think about it like that, bite-sized and attainable. makes it sustainable.
I like that.
You like that?
This is just off the cuff too.
Everything's off the cuff always, but it's when I talk about it every day, it's not hard, and I see what works, see what doesn't, and what works is this, and this is what makes a real change. Some of the stuff people think, like people do, or when I used to do stuff, but people are doing right now every day from a physical nature, whether they've dropped 70 kilos, whether they're doing Ultraman now when they couldn't even be able to run or ride over a K. It doesn't come from anything else but this. They've done the system over and over. And then these miraculous things start, and then people think they're superhuman. They're amazing people, but they just trusted the process for 1,000 to 2,000, 3,000 days in a row.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's when they've got everything in place and they're doing it. The routines.
Over and over again.
Yeah. The awareness is just everything, isn't it, to start?
Yeah.
And the awareness then unlocks another level. You could be on a level, and it's just awareness of everything. And I think if we just do things that every day we're just going around and we're just doing the things and not, like, it might even just, this conversation might just, you might be doing some things and then all of a sudden you feel like, it's just sparks. It's just the word awareness and thinking and being a bit more conscious. Yeah.
And I think that's great, and that's why we have these chats, because we were having these chats every day anyway. We're having these chats within 100 Day Heroes, but again, 100 Day Heroes is the only block that I can actually do it for, and Shelley's the same with her meditation and yin and other stuff, the nidra. But the corporate stuff I love, but it's got to be consistent. Professional sport, they're halfway there anyway, but it's got to be consistent. But they've got access to everything else anyway. Whereas anyone listening to this randomly, I love that you can listen to this and understand, because if you're already clicking on this, you're probably a lot more aware than most anyway, to be fair. You're probably 90% evolved more, and that's okay. So if you've got people in your life that have no idea about neuroplasticity, about anything we're talking about, then that's okay as well. Don't you get frustrated with that. If you know that they're whinging about being sick all the time, injured all the time, overweight, they're coming from a place of lack, that's okay. You can't change everyone, but you can change yourself, because you've got everything you've got right inside of you. So you listen to that, you might be doing some chores or whatever, and you hear Shelley say that's really good. I need that. 90 seconds. How do I make, I've got no time, you've got time. Microdose.
Yeah, and noticing, it's like noticing that something frustrates you, instead of just like being frustrated, going, okay, that actually comes up a lot, the same pattern, and going, and even if it's like, what annoys me, is just a list.
Could be a long list.
And
of course,
I think next to that list needs to be a list of what I'm grateful for. So if you're putting on something that annoys you, you should put something that you're grateful for. I don't know. I just made that up.
No, I love that.
But yeah, again, awareness. And then when it comes up next, you're like, okay, this is something I can change. A tiny little, and a thought that I'm going to start to change that. And there'll be heaps of things. Once you start seeing them, they're going to come from everywhere. So you don't have to go and try and chase them. Almost start with one tiny thought and then let them all flow.
Do you mean the gratitude or the annoying ones?
Yeah.
Both.
But absolutely.
I totally get both.
Because it's just highlighting.
I think that's 1,000,000% correct. Because I tuned out. But the annoying stuff is 100% right. And I think a lot of people, if you're looking at an annoying thing, you got to say, well, why does it annoy me? And you can't just write, because that other bloke's a wanker. Or it's got to be genuine. Well, why are you letting it get to you? And there's the old saying of Michael Singer is, I know I speak about this a lot with the unbothered, unbreakable, but you're bothering yourself about circumstances. And the same goes for your own head and your own mind. So if, like Shelley said, stop bothering yourself. Just write down what annoys you. And then, but more importantly, write down the gratitude. And the frequency of that is just off its head. But again, it's not our natural way. We're wired for comfort, we're wired for aggression, we're wired for self-preservation, but it doesn't work in
like protection, isn't it? Like you're protecting,
which they think
protecting yourself, and that's why you react.
Evolution and ancestry and all these things. So, but if you're aware of this, like you said, if they're clicking on this stuff, they're 90% there, I'd imagine, and we're certainly not any prophets. Every day we work on this every single day, and there wouldn't be a morning if I don't do my little rituals in the morning, like the daily magics and that, then I'm undercooked. So it's not. I'm not coming and saying there's no such thing as the finished product, by the way, and anyone would say that. But to say it's made my coaching, I've seen the people I've worked with over and over again. They talk about things like, I feel more joy each day, more contentment. Everything feels easier. I'm doing things physically that felt never possible, but now it actually feels easy. And yes, true, I've definitely lived it myself, which definitely just solidifies everything, which is a beautiful thing. And now you can walk around in peace and contentment, whilst while the noises don't stop, but you can just be content to walk alongside.
Yeah, absolutely. So the tiny tweaks, and even if you're feeling frustrated, and if it's a sunny day, just go out in the sun for like a minute. Or when you're feeling that frustration, so that it doesn't build and build and build, what can I do? It's a tiny little positive change for this. Like, I'm aware of it, I'll write it down, because then I can work out how I can change things on a bigger note, and they might involve other people, and it might mean that there's some hard conversations, whatever. But it's a plan, and it's a start to a change, and a start to a new routine, and a start to a new habit. It's actually nice to do the little change, because it's just the little acknowledgement, and if you make it an enjoyable process as well, like the sun, or like let's just breathe, and then it feels lighter.
I think the stuff shows, and it's really important that you get this out of it, if you don't get anything else, is to really make it small. But you can make it small forever, and then what will happen is the more arduous things that you might have to do, again physically, or whether it's a 30-minute thing or whatever, it doesn't, not just physical, but they become easier in time. But to start small is everything. Shelley said it brilliantly. Start enjoyable, make it enjoyable, and don't look for instant gratification or instant change as far as instant physical, tangible things. Don't look for that. If you stop looking for that, but you keep the simple, small, positive, happy things that you can manipulate in play, then everything becomes a lot easier. So doing the small things without looking for instant tangible change.
What are some little things that have you noticed, anything for yourself that you want to maybe start working on, or any rituals that you want to include in your day?
I've changed my whole day, I reckon, the last year, pretty much, but my rituals and micro goals are very, very similar every day. But I definitely want to start including a bit more micro dosing, like non-sleep deep rests, or you said it, 3 minutes in the sun, and being okay with that, so it's not just going hard and then collapsing. So I'll normally do 4 to 5 hours.
What you've always done.
Yeah, have a spell and go again.
Done.
So I'll do it 2, 4 or 5 hour stints, whether it's work, coaching, training. But whereas now I'm really, really mindful of the non-sleep deep rest, the nidra and other stuff. But like, you don't have to do any of that. You can just be in the sun for 2 or 3 minutes. So just blocking those out, because I love the microdose exercise, and I know I've spoken about that a little bit, maybe not today, but there's definitely important to do that. Actually, an email went out today on that, because it's really important stuff, a lot of science there, I love that. But set my alarm for microdose regeneration. But microdose, not a 20 naps are great, but not all the time for me. So just microdose, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I think that's a perfect example that you've obviously have thought about it, and that's what you want to include. But if you hadn't, you're in this routine, right? And the routine's working, it's doing fine. But actually just stopping and slowing things down throughout the day, it actually makes you
That was your phone.
Can you just grab that?
That was Shelley's phone.
It makes you then be able to see that, because you can become quite, I'm not saying you, but everyone can become that routine and stuck in the ways and not think that, and it's not wrong. There's no.
Well, routine's great and automaticity is great if they're serving you.
Yeah, but it might just be a tiny step out to go, can I add anything tiny in here to
optimize,
make it?
Yeah.
Like that's all, yeah. And so, yeah, by doing that, by slowing down, you're able to go, I might add in a few more things.
If we had about this chat when we had HQ or those 3 years of COVID, there would have been too much for me to grasp. I would have had to really pull back on what and then do what I was trying to coach people. I would have had to, and I did do this, and I reprogrammed everything. So if you're in that state and you need a whole shift, that's amazing. You're in the right spot.
Yeah.
But if you kind of get into the point where, like, I'm probably physically and mentally, well, definitely physically the best shape in 10, 12, 15 years, mentally and emotionally by a mile the best I've ever been, not even close. Like, it's like, it pales in significance how much better. But why wouldn't I want to step out and look on the bigger picture and how, what magnets can I move to optimize even more, to make life a bit not simpler but more content, more peaceful.
Yeah, and even if it's just a tiny, a little stretch, just sitting down and having a little stretch and trying to not think about anything just for a minute in your day. And then from there, that space, that might bring in a thought, of gold. It may not, and that's whatever, you've got a nice stretch, but it's just that space.
That's true.
In the day that can maybe start creating that positive change.
Yeah.
In whatever way.
We say it all the time, but imagine not doing it. Like, when we're doing movements or mobilities or daily magics or yoga, whatever you're doing, like, imagine not doing that. Like, it feels so good. And like Shelley said, empty the brain, and at the very least, you're going to get a bit of movement, which lets off 4 or 5 amazing neurotransmitters. Okay, dopamine, serotonin, and the rest. But what they do then is, over time, and they compound, and you can get back to your task or your job or your kids, and your brain chemistry changes as well. And so just remember all this stuff, and we're just trying to make it simple and small. Right now, with what we're trying to say, you literally have to find 3 minutes a week. That's it. Like 20 to 30 seconds a couple of times a day. That's it. Let's keep it really simple and attainable.
Yeah. Love it.
Lower friction. That was good. Your phone went off, so that's a fine. And we did.
I'll take that.
Shelley's upset at me for not doing any prep, but she doesn't understand that I don't do any prep ever. It's all here.
It's okay.
It's okay. So again, yin and yang. No, she's not upset
at all.
No, she's not upset. You should have said 11:59. But in all seriousness, it is Mother's Day yesterday. So happy Mother's Day to Shelley and all the beautiful mums out there. We had a great day, didn't we?
Yeah, it was lovely. Thank you. You did a great job.
20 years of being a mum, you said yesterday. Levi.
Yeah, they wrote in the card and I was like, what? I got a shock.
Yeah, well, you're looking better than ever, so you're doing something right. 3 young kids, but I hope you all had a beautiful Mother's Day. Those who are mums or have mums or anyone, just enjoy and be really grateful for it all. And probably the big tip there, I reckon, for Shelley to take out of that, was was write down things that are shitting you or annoy you, and even if you feel like they're not ever going to change, because you might not believe they're going to change yet, but if you write them down and then write a gratitude thing, and don't do it with a place of it's just do it with an empty mind, and then keep doing it, and then definitely the micro dose, movement, mindfulness, and mobility. I'd suggest. Yeah,
and even if you can't think of anything, or don't feel pressured that you have to write all the things, just create like 20 seconds of space in your day. Just slower when you're making your coffee. Have a moment, like just creating more space. Well, then the thoughts will be able to come in, and then if you've opened up the portal that you're going to have some things that you want to make some changes on, then you just add to them as the days go on. So there's just no pressure, and just really enjoy the process of it all, I think, is the big thing too. Yeah.
Yeah, if you can train the brain, and I say this a lot and write about it a lot in this book that's coming out, but if you can train the brain to enjoy everything, it's quite remarkable what can happen. And I'm not going to get into that today because that's a whole other show, but if you can train the brain, and Shell does it well, but to be okay with every moment that you're in, discomfort, worry, stress, just be okay. But physical discomfort's an easy one, I think, because I parlay it to that. But yeah, so just train the brain that way. But you guys, you're doing amazing stuff. If you're pressing play on this, like I said, you're amazing because you clearly, unless you're our relatives, you clearly want to just improve and just because they might want to just press play on it just to see us. But it's she didn't get what I said.
No, I didn't. I was like, where is he going?
I'm not going anywhere. They're pressing play just to see us on screen. But hopefully they're getting something out of it as well. No, I meant that if you don't know us, or you do, even if you do, but the fact you're even clicking on this stuff, because I really only click on content that I know is going to make me better, and that's legit. That's been me pretty much since smartphones came out, and even before. I remember buying a lot of audio and CDs and stuff just to make me better. So I really hope that you get something out of this. I know you will, because this is the only stuff we're that passionate and knowledgeable about. We could talk all day about it. Any last chats?
No, that's all for today. I think.
Next week will be a Great Ocean Road. We'll do our best to go along.
Yeah.
Bit of Apollo Bay, but can't wait. Now keep the ball rolling. Any questions, yell out. Write in the comments, or if you're on YouTube. But otherwise, reach out to us and on anything and just yell out for any. What do you want to hear discussed? Is that a good one? You can say that.
I was just going to say, enjoy the process of the positive change. It's exciting.
Small
so
positive.
Exciting.
Small
tiny
little things.
Let us know what's changed.
We get to. Have a beautiful day.